Hey everyone, welcome back to Babe in Library. It's your girl Lisa, and I'm here for another video, of course. And so today's video is going to be all things book award related. If you are like me, you woke up this morning and you were doing your normal peruse through social media. You may have traveled over to Goodreads and saw that they announced the Goodreads 2022 winners for their nomination choice. So, needless to say, I hate every single bit of it. Like, every single part of the Goodreads Choice Awards is no longer for me. For one reason, I don't get to put in my own handwritten submissions. There used to be a time, probably about 2 or 3 years ago, where you could, as the first initial wave, you could do a write-in and they would go through it. I'm assuming someone at Goodreads didn't want to do the work, and so they said, let's scrap that and just choose what we want. Well, what you want and what I want and everyone else want is not the same. And it clearly shows. So thinking about some of the categories that we see runners of, this is a spoiler. So if you haven't gone and looked at the nominees and the winners, there's nothing really to be surprised about. I am a romance reader, so that is one of the categories that I primarily lean towards. And the winner for this category was Emily Henry. I'm going to shake the table a little bit. Emily Henry is not for me. I feel like she's mediocre at best. I've read 2 out of her 3 books, and they were all 3 stars, and that's, again, me being generous. So to see that Emily Henry's Book Lover won, and then Colleen Hoover, which we all know is selling more books than the Bible this year. And she had 2 nominees, and both of them were 2nd and 3rd place. So that tells you all you need to know, particularly about that category. I wasn't surprised there. I figured one of them would win, if not Allie Hazelwood, which again, I'm also not necessarily a fan of, but of her books, right? Don't know her as a person. So I had a feeling romance was not going to be for me. I knew that from a fantasy standpoint, if Sarah J. Maas is in the category, she's winning. And I like Sarah J. Maas's books, but we need to put her in her own category. What I really focused on, or I thought I was going to be able to edge out a win, was in the middle grade / children's category and the young adult fantasy category. I was rooting for Bloodmark and Amari in The Great Game. None of them won. So that's a recap of where we stand with Goodreads, which is in the trash bin. Other than that, there was an indie book award that was going on in Instagram, or Bookstagram rather. And I thought, okay, well, maybe we get some promise there. They did submissions. It was really write-in. People got the choice, and there was a lot of popular books there. Not to necessarily say that I felt that they were as diverse, but at least I got an option to write some things in. It was all indie actually. So it was things that people are actually reading that are a part of the community that I'm a part of. However, poof, it disappeared. So if you've been following along in social media, whether it be in the Bookstagram world, whether it be in BookTube, you know that everyone was kind of rooting for that award ceremony, and it just up and left. They said, hey, it was fun, it was cute. Again, sounds like a lot of work. We collected all of this. We out of here. So what I'm here to do is provide you with an alternate. I know I've been talking for quite some time, but I'm here to provide you with an alternate book award ceremony, and that is the Black Book Awards. You still have time. We are in our 2nd round, so we did our initial write-ins, and I was giving options. You could give as many or as little as you wanted for each category. And similar to Goodreads, it has everything from poetry to fiction, nonfiction, romance, you name it, they've got it, and even more, right? They've got a category for queer romance. They've got categories for a lot of things outside of just the genre. They've got non-genre related items, so you can choose like the best friend of a character. You can choose the best title of a book. You can choose like cute and quirky things that, you know, highlight the book in addition to it being within a genre. And then they have a category for authors, right? So in addition to the work that they produce, there are categories for best debut author, best romance author, right? So you get a chance to recognize the work and you get a chance to recognize the author. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to discuss each category, what options I have on my bookshelves that I have read, and maybe what is on my TBR. I would highly encourage you still have time to vote in the second round. Voting closes on December 10th. So I'm going to try to get this video out today so that you at least have 3 days to put your vote in, and we will pick it up from there. So the first category is poetry. So just like with the Goodreads award, I don't really lean towards poetry. I think there may have been one poetry book that I read this month, and it was produced by a Black author, but that was not in the category. So I really don't have a dog in this particular fight, but we're gonna go ahead and move towards sci-fi and fantasy. So in the sci-fi fantasy category, there were 4 nominees. I've read one of the 4, which would be The Blood Trials by N.E. Davenport. I'll put that up on the screen as well. I do not have a physical copy, but I rated this, I believe The Blood Trials, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed this debut by N.E. Davenport, and I can't wait for her second installment. It is a duology, so I will be picking it up. I'm sure plenty of people love N.K. Jemisin. I've only read 1.5. I DNF one of N.K. Jemisin's books, but The World We Make is a really good option. And the other 2 I have not heard of. Moving towards literary fiction. So this is where I start having the bulk of my recommendations, my reads, and my physicals. So in the literary fiction category, you've got Take My Hand by Dolan Perkins Valdez. I rated this a 4 out of 5. This is the Goodreads edition. I tabbed it up quite a bit. I also have a digital copy of Black Cake. So this is hitting the streets. I think everyone typically loves this book, so it is on my list of things to read. And then I also have Night Crawling by Layla Motley, and I gave this a 5-star. Absolutely love this book. You really can't go wrong with anyone in this particular category. I believe I voted for Night Crawling, but really all 3 winners, all 3 really good contenders for a literary fiction. I know Night Crawling was, I think both of these were in the Goodreads Choice Award. Unfortunately, neither one of them won. So if you want to see them get their just due, please vote for either one of them or Black Cake in the literary fiction section. Moving on to nonfiction, I have read 0 of these, but 2 of them were on my TBR prior to the votes being released. So that would be Token Black Girl by Danielle Prescord, as well as Black Love Matters by Jessica P. Pride. I believe it actually may be an anthology as well, and I'm not necessarily a fan of anthology, but I have to read it. Just next is urban fiction. I don't typically read a lot of urban fiction. Demon's Dream by Elle Kaysen has been popping up on my feed. I'm scared to read this simply because I think it's like 800 pages, which is way too long of a book for it not to have an audio. I read large books like that, but it takes me quite some time. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get to that, but what is high on my TBR is Captivated by Danger, and that is by India Carter. I think I have it checked out from my Kindle Unlimited, so that is a must read in 2023. If anything, I would vote for that just because of my high interest, but haven't read it, so I can't tell you whether it's good or not. Moving on to the mystery thriller category, how I still haven't read anything in this category. Jackal is one that is on loan from my library. I had it and I kind of found other things to prioritize, which is, you know, how the game goes when you are a mood reader. So Jackal by Aaron E. Adams is on my list. I read something from Shadora Williams this last month, but I did not read The Wife Before. So maybe I'll pick that up. Thriller is your jam. Please check out one of them. And then we're getting to my bread and butter, right? If you've been watching any of my videos, you know romance is my shtick. So the first one, actually all 5 of these have been either on my list or I've read a few of them. So the first one being Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola. I am currently in the middle of this. I'm a little over 50%. I hope to have this as a review within the next few weeks. However, this is published as a subset published from HarperCollins. So even though it is by William Morrow, it is under the HarperCollins umbrella, and because they are on strike, I am trying my best not to add this into a video until that strike passes. Again, what I will say is I am loving this. It is on trend for a 5-star, but more to come once I finish it. I don't want to speak too soon and jinx myself, but again, this is one in that contemporary romance that would be high up on my list. I also have read You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaeke Emezi. I rated this 4 out of 5. Tab the ever-loving heck out of this, and really was glad to see Akwaeke make this book because this is a twist on that Dating Your Dad video that I did, and a lot of times we don't see this in the Black romance Black romance community, and this is definitely contemporary. So loved this one as well. And then the other 3 I have not read yet, but they are on my TBR. So moving towards Black romance. Each and every one of these, all 5 of these are on my TBR. I have Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan, which is my next read. So once I finish Honey and Spice, I will be picking this up next. It has an audiobook that goes with it. So it has my 2 favorite is Jacoby Diem and Wesley Siobhan. So I am very excited to pick this up. I promise you it will be done within the next video. I also have another book that I haven't read yet, but again, TBR, Restore Me by J.L. Seegers. This is on my list to read this month. Hopefully I can get to it. I think an audiobook is coming out for this as well, so maybe I will pick that up when it comes out and I can tag team the 2. I have been seeing Worth It by Lady Marie and What a Match by Mamie Grace, but I haven't picked those up. However, I will put up a picture of A Worthy Love by A.E. Valdez. I read this month, last month, actually in November, and it was a 5-star read for me. Absolutely love it. I recommend it to everyone. Moving down to queer romance, I have not read any of these. I've seen Devon and Chris Plan a Wedding by Shanika Higgins. I really haven't heard the best about that, but I have heard really good things about The Romantic Agenda. I believe that is about a romantic setup, so I can give that a try because I've heard really good things. I think it is a romantic representation. Moving into my bag, which would be paranormal romance. 2 of these are by the same author that just lets you know she's knocking it out the park, and that would be Kimberly Lemming. I have a copy of The Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted I have a copy of her other one, which is The Time I Got Drunk and Saved the Demon. The Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf is on my wish list. I have read it and I did enjoy it. I prefer this one more, but that one is also good. And then Mistletoe is going to be one of my next reads because it is a Christmas romance and it is the month of December. So Kimberly, I'm coming for your backlist. Moving into historical fiction, all 5 of these are something I either have a copy of, such as that Take a Hand by Dolan Perkins. I also have a copy of J.J. McAvoy's Aphrodite and the Duke. All of these sound interested to me. I know The Monsters We Defy has really good ratings, as well as My Government Means to Kill Me was on the Goodreads list, so I'm going to pick that up. Historical romance is starting to be my jam. As I stated a minute ago in this video, I'm not really an anthology fan, so none of these really stick out to me. Moving towards horror, All these are things that really interest me. However, the one I have read and do own is The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. 5-star read if you are a fan of Carrie. That was originated by Stephen King. If you like the movies, but you want to see a modern twist and make it Black, this is the one. I absolutely love and adore it, and I would recommend it. And what Goodreads does not have is this category here, which is erotica, which we love to see. If you all know anything about me and romance, or me and the books that I read, I'm a spice erotic queen, and I love to see it. So I'm so happy that they added this as a category. I have not read any of these, but you can best believe all of them were added to my Goodreads TBR. All of them were placed into let me put this on my wish list, or let me go ahead and download off of Kindle Unlimited. And moving towards YA fiction, I have not read any of these. Burn Down, Rise Up is high on my priority. Confessions of a Alleged Good Girl is on my priority. I'm interested in reading Bitter by Akwaeke Emezi because I did love You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty, and a lot of people love Bitter, so more to come in that category. But YA fantasy, you know we stand. Blood Marked by Tracy Dion. This is my choice. However, I also have read Blood Cyan and gave that 5 stars. Actually, I'm going to tell you the truth. I haven't reviewed this yet because I was waiting on me reading Honey and Spice and Before I Let Go. So that is a video that's coming up. I actually gave Blood Mark 4 stars and Blood Cyan 5 stars. So I'll talk about that a little bit more once I get ready to review this, but you can't really miss in this YA fantasy category because the girls know what the people want. Last 2 categories, or actually last 3 categories would be YA romance. I have read Finding Jupiter by Khalees Rowe, 5-star read. I would recommend that. That's probably what I voted for. And I have a copy of Love Radio, but I have not read it yet. So this is going to be a read in 2023, as well as Cafe Con Leche and Confessions of a Alleged Good Girl. Those 2 are on my list. Moving into African contemporary, which we are so grateful to be able to see that this is taking precedent in today because they're doing amazing work. Honey and Spice, of course, is my choice. I heard Wahala is great and messy, so that is on my list as well. Moving towards middle grade and children's, you already know. Amari and the Grape Game, 5 stars. I finally did get around to reading this. Absolutely love it. But I am interested in the Marvelers, Onyenka and the Academy of Sun and A Taste of Magic. All on my list to read, so that is something that I will be picking up in 2023. And lastly, graphic novels and comics, which was my choice was Wash Day Diaries, which I gave 5 stars. I want to see more of that. And of course, we love Black Panther, so if you chose that, there's no going wrong with it either. So those are all the genre-specific items. Just quickly want to highlight some areas that are non-genre specific. So again, we talked about the best debut novel. So there's quite a bit of items that are there. Best audio is a category, best novella, best cover. You don't really think about some of these areas. Novellas typically do not get the shine and love that they deserve. We make a big deal about debut novels, but, audiobooks and those narrators deserve this credit and shine that they don't necessarily get either. There is a Black Audiobook Awards as well. The voting for that is closed, but I'm planning on doing a video because I think that they are coming out with the winners at the end of the month. So I may do another video letting you know the winners of the Black Book Awards as well as the Black Audiobook. So look for more from me on that. If you happen to have a favorite, something that you automatically decided to vote for, sight unseen, please drop them in the chats. Let me know what some of your selections would be. I'm going to be dropping a link for this in the description, making sure that you all have a chance to vote, and I will be seeing you once the results are in. You all have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.